What is going on, guys and girls? Welcome back to TV and Me. I'm of course Kevin, and it's time again for The Walking Dead. Oh shit, did he have a gun on him?
So that's why you're out here?
They killed Denise. It's empty.
So what if it was full? What could you do with it?
Don't you get it? That asshole back there took our guns because he's gonna take all our guns. What are you gonna do, tell them?
I have faith in us. I have faith in you. Things change. You're my friend. It wasn't always that way.
What you did with Graves, it was quick thinking. Thank you.
It was nice digging a grave I knew would stay empty.
If they were anywhere, they'd be here. Spencer's done this kind of thing before. We keep looking.
Oh, fuck, is it Spencer?
Maybe today works out.
I've got big respect for Gabe. You know, quick thinking with the grave. Being there for Rick, he knows he needs the support. Oh, he's found him. Thank fuck. What's the bets? He still kills her though.
Well, would you look at that? Funny how a little holy shit, somebody's gonna die lights a fire under everybody's ass. Which one of your fine folks almost cost Olivia the rest of her days?
Doesn't matter anymore.
No, it matters. See, you need to get everybody on board. Everybody. Or we just go right back to square one.
Give me a second.
Fuck's sake.
No. Please, can you just give me a second? I need the rifle. I know what's in the bag. I know what you're doing out there.
What am I doing out there?
You're practicing.
Thought so.
We have to give up our guns, all of them.
He doesn't know about that one.
And they find it, someone dies. I'm not losing you or Carl or anyone else. I'm not losing anyone else.
Look at this.
I thought she was scavenging. She was hunting. This one never came inside. We kept it near the blind.
Look at this. This is something to build a relationship on. Good for you, Rick.
I'd like to ask you if Daryl could stay.
Not happening. Maybe Daryl can plead his case. Maybe Daryl can sway me.
He's not gonna beg. God, he's so sadistic.
Well, you tried. Now what you gotta do is get over that tall wall of yours and try harder out there. Earn from me. Because we're coming back soon. And when we do, you better have something interesting for us. Or Lucille, she's gonna have her way. Somebody's gonna die. And no more magic guns.
Took all your guns, most of your beds. I hope you find a place to lay your pretty little head. Did you find anything else out there?
Just your dead friends.
You can have it back. Just say the word.
go.
I think that'd be good.
Then just say those two magical words.
Thank you.
Don't be ridiculous. Thank you.
Oh, Rick. It's still there. The fight is still there.
Thank you for being so accommodating, friend. In case you haven't caught on, I just slid my dick down your throat, and you thanked me for it.
We took the guns you had in your house. The Saviors wanted ours, all of them. There were 2 missing from the inventory. They were gonna kill Olivia. You went into my house.
Oh, fuck your house.
They were gonna kill Olivia. Look, I'm not faulting you for having the guns. I did it myself, but the food and liquor.
Oh, yeah, we're so lucky. You've led us all to the promised land. Isn't that right, Rick? Here we are. I guess Glenn and Abraham were lucky too.
Should have quit while you was a head dude. He's got a lot of pent up anger.
Anything like that again to me, I'll break your jaw, knock your teeth out.
Well, they've got one, but knowing Negan, he'll find the fucking thing, won't he?
That rifle. It was one of theirs from the outpost. They didn't have a list. Could have hid more.
Did you?
No.
I don't think she'd tell him, even if she did.
Everything we have, we got from fighting.
I made the choice. There aren't enough of us. It's about numbers.
There's the hilltop.
They still have the numbers. We play by their rules, and we get some kind of life.
What kind of a life?
My friend, his name was Shane. Him and Lori, they were together. They thought I was dead. I know Judith isn't mine. I know it. I love her. She's my daughter. But she isn't mine. I had to accept that so I could keep her alive. I'll die before she does, and I hope that's a long time from now so I can raise her and protect her and teach her how to survive. This is how we live now. I had to accept that too so I could keep everyone else alive.
It's not your fault when people die.
Not always, but sometimes it is. You have to accept this. All of us do, or it won't work.
I'm gonna try.
What the fuck is that? Oh, the mattresses. They took them just because. Well, she wasn't going to tell him about the guns. She certainly isn't now. Old gun factory. So there we have it, episode 4, and I think the best way to summarise this episode was said perfectly by Negan himself, and he said,
In In case you haven't caught on, I just slid my dick down your throat, and you thanked me for it.
And I couldn't have said it any better myself. Okay, that was a bit harsh, I admit, but that's pretty much what this episode was. It was Negan doing what he wanted to do. It was Negan coming early for a start, you know, catching him off guard, not doing what he said he would do. And then on top of that, he didn't take half of everything. He took half of what he wanted. He basically took all the medicine, took all the mattresses, which of course Michonne saw later burning on the side of the road. He took all the furniture. He basically took their luxuries, and he took the things they needed most, i.e. the medicine. But in that one little scene where he had with Rick, he did say he was leaving the food, and he wasn't doing that out of the kindness of his heart. He even said he saw how desperate the food situation was there, and the only reason he left the food was because otherwise they would starve to death, and starving people do crazy shit, and he knows if they were starving, they're likely to attack him. They're likely to do something they wouldn't do should they have food. And that's one thing I've got to say about Negan. Despite him being an arsehole, despite him being sadistic, despite me absolutely despising him, he's intelligent. He's not a stupid man. He knows precisely how to hurt Rick, how to get at Rick, and it's almost like he's almost baiting him into doing something, like when he keeps bringing up Glenn, he keeps saying these little sly remarks in order to get at Rick, to try and get him to lash out. He does all that because he's trying to get a response, so again he can punish Rick or punish someone in the group to show how powerful he is. And that intellect is on show as well with the guns. He didn't go for Rick. He didn't say, if you don't find his guns, I'm going to kill you, Rick. He went after someone else. He went after the woman that was keeping the books. And again, it's all these mind games, and he's using his intelligence to, you know, run circles at this point around Rick and run circles around this deal they have with the Saviors. He's taking full advantage of it, and as much as I see in this episode Rick going along with Negan's plan, you know, Negan's deal, if you can even call it a deal, as much as he's going along with it now, I can see if Negan keeps up the way he acted in this episode, there is only so long before Rick is going to break. We even saw it in this episode actually, when Negan was leaving and he had his back to Rick. Rick's grip tightened on the baseball bat and he almost took a step forward, but he resisted in the last second and stepped back. And I think a few more weeks of this and I can see something going seriously wrong. In all honesty, deep down inside me, I want Rick to fight back. But I know now is not the right time. He has to get Negan's trust. And I feel like, even though it seems silly in the moment, him giving Negan Michonne's gun because he didn't know about it. One, it was the right thing to do because he was right in a way saying if Negan found it at some other point, that would give him an excuse to kill someone. But there's also the fact that he did give Negan that gun. And now Negan has some sort of trust in Rick because Negan didn't know about that gun, and Rick giving it to him shows that Rick is scared. Rick is willing to hand over stuff Negan doesn't know about. And I don't know if Rick was doing it on purpose or whether he was doing it for the first reason I just said, but that has brought some trust between Negan and Rick. Not on Rick's side, but on Negan's side. He sees that Rick is willing to give over whatever he has in order to stop Negan killing people. And I feel like that could work out in the long run. If Rick keeps up with this for a little while and sort of builds some sort of trust and gets him to trust him a little bit, then maybe that could be the time to strike. Because we also saw in this episode, Gabe was really good in this episode. I have to say, you know, I've shit on him in the past, and for rightly so as well, because he's done some shitty things. But he had some really quick thinking in this episode with Sasha and Maggie. You know, in that moment, Negan was asking what happened to him. And I don't know if he was just on about Maggie or he was on about Sasha and Maggie, because he only said the one girl that was ill, but he didn't seem to notice Sasha was missing. So Gabe had really quick thinking. He said she died. So that's one person Negan isn't counting on. That's one person you could have as a surprise. And it could, like I say, it could work out further down the road if they have some sort of plan to attack Negan. Also, the gun Rosita found, or she took off the walker, even though she hasn't got any bullets, and we saw at the end there her go to Eugene and ask him to make bullets, which again, is risky because if Negan finds them doing that, he's going to kill someone. But it's also a way of getting weapons and ammo without Negan knowing. So he underestimates Rick and the group. And that could be another key to attacking Negan at a later date. But, you know, the tools are there. The scene is set. I feel like with the trust Rick can build up, with the weapons they can find on walkers and the one Rosita found, with the bullets Eugene can make, they can lure Negan into a false sense of security, and eventually, who knows, maybe do something that I want to happen so much, which is for them to get one over on Negan, them to kill Negan, them to surprise him, and for then Rick to metaphorically slide his dick into Negan's throat and him say thank you. There are two people I'm worried about at this point though that could really fuck up the plan. One is Spencer, because again we saw in this episode he was the one that hid the guns. You know, he had a good excuse I suppose, looking at it from his point of view, because he wasn't sure of Rick. And you know, when Rick came in he had that big scraggly beard, he looked crazy, and I sort of don't blame him for that. But the food, that's one thing that I don't agree with, because you know, everybody was starving, he's stashing it away from himself. And it proves that his character is very selfish. So I believe should he find out something, he might ultimately rat out someone in Alexandria just to save his own bacon. And I could really see his character go in that direction. The other person I'm really worried about is Michonne, because we saw in this episode she was really unwilling to give up that gun. For good reason, but you know, Rick also had a good reason. But also when Negan said give me the deer, you could see she almost shrugged it off her shoulders and was really pissed off. So she's not happy, and I guess no one is. But there was the whole thing about hiding guns, and with the way Michonne is, you know, she's very determined in the fact that she isn't going to be Negan's bitch. Whereas, you know, Rick doesn't want to be either, but he's submitting to protect people. I feel like Michonne will resist to a degree. And should she have any other guns stashed away at this point, even though there was that moment between Rick and Michonne in this episode where he told her about Shane, you know, and she said she would try to, you know, follow the plan, follow Negan's rule. But when she saw those mattresses at the end, I feel like that was the decision breaker of, no, you know what, this man, he is so sadistic, he took those mattresses, he didn't want them, he just took them away because he could, and because he wanted them to be uncomfortable. That's the sort of person he is. And I feel like that could be the key point that makes Michonne hide stuff from Rick, and maybe do her own thing, and eventually do something which could come back to, I don't know, have bad repercussions for the people at Alexandria. But we've seen from Michonne in the past, she is an intelligent person. She does make the right choice, like, more often than not. And I hope that even though she doesn't agree with Negan, she does try to stand by Rick's side, and she does try to follow along with him, as long as Rick has a long game. I mean, I'm allowing Rick time to mourn. I'm allowing him time to get his thoughts together and try and work out a way to combat Negan. But should Rick decide that the long game is just to follow Negan, then maybe someone like Michonne does have to take charge and does have to lead the rest of the Alexandrians, and possibly the Hilltop, and maybe eventually the Kingdom, should they meet them, in a revolt against Negan. There is one last thing I want to talk about, and that is Dwight D. Dickhead. After all the stuff that happened in the previous episode, telling us his backstory, trying to make us feel some sort of sympathy for him, trying to make us understand the character, all that was undone with one simple scene. The scene where he himself was sadistic, much like Negan. He took Rosita's hat, he took their guns, which, you know, I understand because that was part of the quota, but the way he did it, his attitude, and for him to then tip out Rosita's water in the blistering heat, that was just a shitty move. And that has made me lose, again, any respect, any sympathy, any understanding of that character. And again, he's gone straight back on the shit list. So, well done, Dwight. And that was about it. Basically an episode all about Negan taking what he wanted from Alexandria. and Rick biting his tongue, trying not to, you know, hit him or do anything stupid, or trying to stop the people around him doing stupid things like Carl when he had the gun to his men. But I'm guessing there's going to be more of that in the future. I just hope, like I say, that Rick has a long game. Build the trust and then betray him and do something god-awful to him, because he deserves it. So until next episode, guys and girls, thank you for watching as always. I really appreciate it. And until then, bye-bye. Thank you for watching The Walking Dead Weekend with me. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a thumbs up because it helps me and it helps the channel grow. Also, if you've got any thoughts or theories about the episode, remember you can leave them in the comments section below. But please, no spoilers. If you'd like to support me even more than you do now, you can find me on Patreon, where for as little as $1 a month you can take part in Patreon polls or even get early access to my videos. And finally, if you want to keep up to date with the channel, you can find me on Twitter at TVandMeReacts, or you can subscribe.